Hello, my friends. So today's date is October the 15th, and this is a birthday reading for those people born on this date or for those events created on these dates or those anniversaries started on this date. So this is a four-card pull, a general energy for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance this year, and an outcome or a synopsis card. So, what is the general energy card for those people or those events begun on October the 15th? Well, it is the shapeshifter. And the shapeshifter is something that's inside all of us. It's that part of ourself that is elusive, that doesn't want to fully say what's on our minds. It's that part that's non-conforming, that wants to be able to take some risks and some challenges, and not just conform itself to whatever is quote needed in the moment, because the moment changes, the moment shape shifts into something much more complex quite often, and requires a different face, requires a different mask, requires a different understanding for you to give to the situations that are here. So this might be a year of feeling like you are non-committal to something and enacting something that doesn't allow you to put your truest face on. It also might be that someone else outside of you is enacting something that you feel tricked by, and thereby don't know exactly how to step forward, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to think about things. So the shapeshifter, on some level, is a required part of ourselves so that we can navigate the complex turning of events, so that we're not stuck in some bind that we have committed to. There's some part of us that needs to break rules in order for us to learn bigger lessons and to break away from, the rigidity of societies or families or systems that don't allow authenticity. Sometimes the authenticity is absolutely the most necessary thing in our lives. To become authentic is to become a shapeshifter, is to allow that shapeshifter to be a part of ourselves. But there is some strong need for integrity underneath the shapeshifter, so you don't keep giving yourself away to whatever is the current situation and the current moment, and you forget about your morals or your ethics or your integrity, or your real truth of standing in your authenticity. So this is a very interesting year, complex year, challenging year. So, what is your particular challenge, October 15th? Well, it is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords, I love this depiction of eight swords surrounding a raven, and the raven stands inside. Swords depict different mind concepts or different thoughts. So, thoughts that are pinning one into a circle, thoughts from you're outside of yourself, or thoughts from inside of yourself that say you can't do that, you can't go there, you can't break out of this circle that you've created, you can't break out of this job, you can't break out of this family, you can't break out of this world, you can't break out of yourself to be the most truthful that you can be. And so this is almost a sense of calling for either you to become the shapeshifter and not give everything away, not give all of your thoughts over to one situation, allow situations to change you. It's the other side of that is the people who are impinging you have locked themselves into some kind of belief system that doesn't allow them to shift and shape as needed. So what do you do when people are locking you in, or you're locking yourself in? And that's your challenge this year, is to recognize that you are locking yourself into some kind of belief system that might be limiting you, or you might be feeling locked into some kind of belief system that other people are putting on you, and you might feel trapped. But the secret to the raven is the raven can fly right through the top of these. The raven doesn't need these man-made thoughts to hold it back. The raven will fly where it needs to fly. The raven will touch the magic the way it needs to touch the magic. Swords are about mind, so anything you can do to get out of your limited mind thought is powerful this year. But you might feel challenged to lift yourself out of your narrow existence. You might be challenged to elude what other people might want you to say and do and be. So you might be giving your power away this year, but you need to look at that and say, is it worth my authenticity and my truth and my integrity to give myself away to somebody else's beliefs about how I should be, or to yourself? Are you limiting your own self because you're afraid of how other people are going to see you or view you or hold you, and thereby you negate yourself and you lock yourself in and you can't fly free? You can't find your authenticity. You can't find the words that are right. The Raven has amazing vocabulary that it speaks 27 words. So it has a very strong ability to understand things on a deep level. But if you're not allowing yourself to understand things on a deep level or break out of your old paradigms, then you are locking yourself in this year. And that is your challenge, to not be locked in and to understand that sometimes you have to shapeshift in order to go through those bars and fly away as like the raven and hear your mystical messages and remember your sacred connection to being. And that is often the only way that you can deal with people who are trying to lock you in, or yourself who is trying to lock you in. So, what do you do as an action to take? Well, the elk is all about honoring your body and honoring your mechanism for travel and movement, honoring what your body needs on physical levels: rest, minerals, good food, cooperation. Elk is also about getting off with beings or people who think the same way as you do. So maybe this is a powerful time to go to some family group that thinks the way you do, or to go to some society that thinks the way you do, or some uh, uh, group that thinks the way you do, and hang out with them. Elk is more traditionally about men hanging out with men, women hanging out with women. The elk males hang out year round, mostly with their own sex, understanding their own sex, understanding their own being better, understanding their own complexities better by looking at themselves and comparing themselves in a matrix of the same. And then they get together to mate with the opposite sex, and then they go their separate way again. So this is really about either getting with your same sex, not necessarily, but it could be a very strong part of this for you to really talk to like minded people who suffer under the same kind of pain and trials, and to become more authentic in yourself is to look at others and say, oh, I can do that, I can be that, I can think that way, I can see life from this vantage point and get a better understanding of it. So whether that's of the same sex or whether that's of the same mindset, it doesn't really matter. But it does matter for you to get together with those beings who are concerned with their life, their vitality, their blood, their understandings, their breaking through old paradigms that no longer serve them, and getting a higher and holier and more sacred perspective on who you are and what you want to do and what integrities still matter to you. And this is a shapeshifter. Shapeshift into the elk. Shapeshift into the power of the elk, the dynamism of the elk, the caretaking of the elk, and the solidarity of the elk when you hang with like-minded individuals that can teach you and can honor you and can give you a perspective that you might not be getting in the limited circle that the Eight of Swords is saying that you're in as your challenge. So breaking away from one group or thought to move into another thought or another group that helps you to reflect on that thought. And by doing that, do you open yourself up to the wisdom of your heart? Because by seeing others work their magic, by hearing other people's stories, by listening to other people's transformations, transmutations of poisons, do you allow yourself to think higher and holier and more sacred thoughts, and to come into more authentic love for yourself. And this is really about loving yourself this year. It's hard to love yourself when you're a shapeshifter who doesn't have any ground and can't find what is your truth. It's hard to love yourself when you give away all your power and can't break out of the narrow, limited circles of thought that you feel held in. It's hard to love yourself when someone else is locking you in and you can't find a way to be truthful and to be authentic and to jump out of your own or their restrictions in order to find yourself. So this is really about learning how to love yourself on deeper levels, and you need that communication with others of like mind. You need that camaraderie with beings who share similar understandings and life stories. You need to rise above your own old stories, your own old thoughts, and expand yourself into places that have new thoughts that more align with who you truly are. And that way you become more authentic in yourself and learn how shape shifting is valuable and vital for you to find your truth and find your way and hold your own integrity. Ahom Ataku Yasin, blessed be.